So much for staying with us. I was just having a conversation with my guest in the studio. Honorable Kehinde Odeneye is a two-time former lawmaker at the Federal House of Representatives, representing Ijebu Central Federal Constituency. Compliments of the season, Honorable.
So you still remember?
Yes, I do. Good to have you join us. What has life been outside office? I mean, do people still flock around you as it used to be when you were honorable member?
Yeah, definitely. You see, because I was able to do my best, yeah, people still flock around, not necessarily for money, but at least to associate with me, and also...
But the money is still there, right?
It's not easy. Whatever money is there now is personal.
I understand. So let us take a look at some of the issues. You know, the outgoing year is a median year between the 2019 general election and the much talked about 2023 general election. Yeah. I'd like us to begin with the defections. You know, we saw quite a number of them this year. Two sitting PDP governors, Ben Ayadi of Cross Rivers and Bello Mutawalli of Zamfara, you know, joined ship with the APC. Your colleagues at the National Assembly, almost every month, there's a story of people moving. But it's also been between the APC and the PDP. Again, it raised the question of ideology, which I think that we have talked so much about. But do you think that between now and 2023, it's still going to be much between these two parties, or you foresee that something else will happen?
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything happening. It's still going to be between PDP and APC. Those are the two biggest parties we have in Nigeria. Every other party is just trying. So, because it has become a tradition that when election is coming, or immediately after election, for one reason or the other, for one personal interest or the other, definitely you see people cross-carpeting. So 2022 is going to witness a lot, because by then a lot of people want to come out for one position or the other. That's right. And where they are not being accommodated in one in the party they are presently, they want to jump ship to another party entirely where they can achieve their objectives. So it's not going to be different from what we've always had. It's not going to be different at all.
Two defections stood out, Honorable. Is the PDP chieftain, former governor of Ogun State, who was the chairman of the PDP presidential campaign in 2019, joining the APC. I'm talking about Gbenga Daniel. Yeah. And then there's also the Femi Fani-Kayode.
He has gone back.
Episode. No, he has come to APC.
Yeah.
I hope you know that he's back in APC.
I know he's back in APC.
So
but I'm not too sure he's comfortable in APC any longer.
I'm just wondering, what really do you think is responsible for this swift change of parties? Yeah, amongst politicians.
Okay, let's look at Gbenga Daniel, for instance. For continuous relevance, he has seen that PDP in Ogun State is almost dead, if not dead. You understand? And for a former governor like that still want to continue to be very relevant, definitely he has to move his, table to another place entirely, to APC. And there are also rumors that he may likely be coming out for Ogun East senatorial seat. So, and he sees APC as being a very good, veritable platform to be able to achieve that. So, for Fani-Kayode, I don't really know, but I think he was also tired of PDP and also tired of abusing Baba Buhari, as he normally calls him. And I think he has also seen something good in APC and Buhari's.
Is it about seeing something good? Or
I think
what is good for the politician's pocket?
No, for Fani Kayode, I think he wants to be associated with good things. And that is what I can summarize as being his reason for jumping into APC.
Can we just assume that there's no remarkable difference between the two parties?
I don't think so. They're the same set of people.
Did you have to defect at any point in time?
Yes. You mean me?
Yes.
No.
You have stuck with the APC?
I'm stuck with the APC.
And you're still a member of the APC?
I'm still a member of APC, an active member.
So why didn't you, change?
It all depends on personal. It all depends on personal reasons and personal objectives. You understand? Ordinarily, a lot of people expected me to jump in 2019 because I didn't get the ticket of APC. There was so much pressure from several parties, not less than 3 political parties. But I just had to. I wanted to serve. So if the platform I believe in wasn't available for me to serve, I believe that there could also be another time, and that's why I decided. So jumping from one party to the other is a personal thing, and I think that not until politicians see that it is more than personal thing, they will continue to jump.
So we saw the main opposition party having some leadership crisis earlier in the year. There were, suits filed against one another. But then eventually they had a national convention. How formidable as an opposition do you think the PDP is ahead the 2023 election?
Unfortunately, as it is, APC is still the party to beat, whether we like it or not.
Pending future defections.
See, the fact of it is that
the track record is that you guys move anyhow.
Yes. The fact of it is this. As it is, APC is still very formidable. And APC is the government in power. Whatever the case is, politicians will always have a way around everything, and at the end of the day, some will definitely have to weigh options very carefully before jumping. So, PDP, yes, they've been able to have their own convention. We are praying that APC will also be able to have
in February
its own seamless one. You understand? Because there are crises all over the places. For the mere fact that PDP had its convention does not mean they don't have crisis again. All over the places, most especially in Southwest, they still have their bigger crisis. Ogun State, I mentioned Ogun State earlier. There's something like PDP in Ogun State. They are just trying to put themselves together. So, you see, what is there is that between now and 2023 election, there will still be massive movements. Some will come to APC, while some will leave APC. It still boils down to the fact that everybody wants one interest or the other to be achieved. And that is it. So, maybe when politicians realize, or we politicians, let me use that word, don't let me say politicians, I'm also one. Maybe when we realize that we are there, we should be there for people and not necessarily for us. You understand? If you're not able to achieve whatever you want to achieve in one party, for one reason or the other, maybe the best thing is for you to just calm down first and see what happens. I'm sure that nobody had expected APC to be what it is today. A lot of people had expected that PDP will continue to rule, the way they said that PDP was going to rule for 100 years to come. Unfortunately, that has been cautioned.
Don't you think that your party is also treading that path? Because there is what you think your party is, there's what Nigerians think it is. Because eventually, when it comes to a general election, it would matter how the APC had fared in the presidents in the past 8 years.
You see, I'm bold to say that what APC has achieved, this is not because I'm a member of APC. What APC has achieved in the last 6-7 years, if PDP was able to do that when they were in power, there was no way APC would have been able to seize that power.
But let's take security, for instance. Don't you think it has become worse than it was before?
Yes, because, you see, it is correct that it could have been worse, or it has been worse. But let us also know the fact that it is not a conventional war. It is not a convention. I'm not saying APC has really tried. But one thing we must realize is that the kind of insecurity challenges we have in Nigeria is not a conventional war that one can easily say that tomorrow I will win or day after tomorrow I will win. Unfortunately,
it was why Nigerians opted for the party in the first place. Yes, they thought that you were coming with a lot of experience in this regard.
Because PDP was not able to confront that problem at that particular point in time. If you look at every step that this government has taken so far, yes, the only thing that this government has failed to do, which would also have helped in making life better and probably solving the problem of insecurity, is employment opportunities. If that had been there, they've tried a lot of things, trying to make life better for citizens and those sort of things. But if there have been employment opportunities, look at the category of people that are involved in insecurity issues. They're basically youth. And why? Because they don't have anything doing. And that is the problem.
Because of time, let us quickly jump to the issue of the Electoral Amendment Act bill.
Yes.
Which Mr. President refused to assent to, and he has given his reasons. He's talking about the issue of security, the issue of finance, the fact that it is not fair to smaller parties. And he's actually really concerned about direct primaries. But here is the talk out there that if the National Assembly voted overwhelmingly for this particular bill and passed it into law, and there's an option for them to veto Mr. President's refusal to assent, why are they not taking it?
Yeah, I think they don't want to check the table. They want to also be very careful. For the mere fact that the National Assembly voted massively for it does not necessarily mean that their opinion is superior. Personally, for me, I wouldn't have also supported that particular clause, making it compulsory for parties. No. Yes, you can recommend direct primaries for party, but you don't necessarily need to make it compulsory. You see, in the days of Awolowo, was there anything like direct primaries or indirect primaries? And look at those leaders, look at those governors then that were chosen by just a few selected leaders. And look at the performances. Jakande of Lagos performed very well. Bisi Onabanjo of Ogun State performed brilliantly. Bisi Bola Ige of Oyo State performed brilliantly. Was there any direct primary or indirect primary? Just it was a form of indirect, because just very few of the leaders that have seen the qualities of these people, selected them because they believed in what they could deliver. Selected them and they were able to perform very well.
What do you think really, and I want you to be, frank and honest with me. What do you think was on the mind of your colleagues? Because some people would have said, well, it was a selfish interest thing. They wanted to hijack political power from the executive governors.
See, if that was their opinion, for me, they're just joking. Because whether direct or indirect, if the executive governor wants to impose anybody, he could achieve it. Whether direct or indirect, he can do it. So if that's exactly what they had in mind, they're just being selfish. Because it won't fly. For any governor that has interest in specific candidates in the state, it can easily. What happens where, see, even with direct, the chairman of the party at ward level have this register in his hand, and that can still be manipulated anyhow. And unfortunately, again, even the number of registered members of the party, how many of them come out for election, either direct primary or general election? How many of them come out? So if anybody is thinking that, if we're able to do direct primary, we can seize it from the executive governor or not, they're just joking. Unless the governor is not too
so here's the point now. Some are saying that this is another litmus test that the National Assembly has failed to prove that it is not a rubber stamp to the executive. Talk to us about the kind of political machinations, because some would think that vetoing the president would be an affront to the political leadership, as it were, of the APC. Is it about what they can do or what they have refused to do?
You see, the thing is this: we won't get out of this present situation unless and until the executive do not have influence in the selection or election of the leadership of National Assembly. As long as the election of National Assembly is being influenced by the leadership of the party and that of the executive, there's no way we'll be out of this. Because whatever the leadership of the National Assembly as it is is going to have a negative effect, not just on the presidency, but also the party. And they won't want to do that.
Let us take Anthony's call from Kaduna. Good morning, Anthony.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please go ahead with your contribution. You have 1 minute. Oh,
you know, I'm trying to say, because I hear some people, I guess when some people talk that direct primary is not important as transmission of election. Transmission of election starts from voting and ends after the voting. But direct primary is very important to the...
I'm so sorry, Anthony, but I can hardly hear you. I think it has to do with the network. It's not clear at all, so we can't go on with that. But let us look at some other issues. There's the electronic transmission of results, which I think I heard him say.
Yes.
You are someone who have, gone to the polls like twice. Do you think it's a game changer, really, as to getting the election process more fair?
Sincerely, that would have been a fantastic one. As we are voting, the results are there sent directly. Yes. So it will make it very difficult for anybody to manipulate at the polling unit. And when that is not achieved, what that simply means is that we are going to have very good results as to whoever people want to be there will be there. But where that is not done, I think what the president should have done is just to return the amendment back to the National Assembly to say that expunge the compulsion of direct primary, but leave every other thing. I think that would have been perfect.
So there are a few options in front of the lawmakers now. They can remove that particular, they don't
have to make it compulsory, direct primary,
retransmit it to the president. They can decide to just let go of the, the amendment like you guys did when you were lawmakers, because you didn't do it then. Or they can just veto the president. What do you think they would do when they resume it?
It would be very unfortunate if they decide to keep quiet. Very unfortunate. I think what they should do is to go back to the presidency and sit down with them and hear his opinion and try to, as much as possible, to harmonize his own opinion with their own opinion and be able to come back with something good.
Let's talk about your party's national convention. No specific date yet, right?
February.
It's February, but
no specific date in February.
Date yet. So I've had a lot of calls as regards. I had a group of young people say the national chairman should be a young person, given the people who have shown interest to be the age group of those who have shown interest to be president in your party. What do you think will make or break this convention come February?
The major thing that could affect that convention is reconciliations. Sincerely, all over the states, all over, there's hardly a state that does not have any problem. Even in Lagos State, APC has problems virtually in all.
Isn't that the responsibility of the party chairman across those states? How can that be fixed during the convention?
All they need to do is try as much as possible to satisfy all interests.
But the party sent some delegates to iron out some of these issues. In some states, in your states, for instance, nobody came.
No, they came. They came. It's not as if they didn't come. They came, but nobody came out for reconciliation.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody
came out for
reconciliation. Because nobody felt that
nobody felt aggrieved.
No, not that. No, people are feeling aggrieved, but nobody felt at that particular point in time that committee will be able to achieve anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the way out?
The way out is the involvement of Mr. President in the party. At least as a father of the party, he has to intervene in some specific states. He has to. Zamfara, for instance, will not know peace. Ogun State is also having issues. And several other states like that. You understand? So if Mr. President is still very much interested in the continuity of APC, he also has, as a father of the party, he has to come out and intervene. And, he has to bring that his father figure, because party faithfuls respect him. Even the governors respect him. So he can't keep quiet. He can't leave the reconciliation in the hands of just some people. He must be involved. And that's the only way out.
So we're expecting to see some elections take place this year, I think.
2022.
2022.
Yeah.
Ekiti and
Osun and Ekiti.
Where do you see the pendulum swing this time?
It's unpredictable. It's unpredictable. If the two governors are not careful, they have to respect parties. They have to respect the party. And when I say the party faithfuls. They must respect them. The governors alone cannot do it. So they must not have personal interest. Governor of Ekiti State is not coming back. So he must ensure that there is free and fair and transparent.
But there's no political track record, that I know of where an outgoing governor loses complete interest in who succeeds him.
But I continue to ask, maybe because I'm not there yet, what is their interest? Because there's no one in the history of Nigerian politics that has made someone to succeed him without fight at the end of the day. So why do you need to struggle? Ensure that somebody must succeed you.
In recent history too, it has not worked. In Edo, for instance.
It will never work.
In Oyo, for instance.
In Osun, it is not working. It will never work. It will never work. Even if Osun, for instance, the current governor worked with with Aregbesola, the former governor, for good 8 years as chief of staff. So you will have expected that they know each other very well, and nothing will have come between them. But look at what is happening. It's going to be personal interest. So why do I need to be interested in whoever takes over me? The only thing that will make me get interested is for that person to be able to consolidate on whatever successes we have been able to achieve. That's all.
You should feature more on TV interviews like this.
I will try to.
Perhaps in the new year. That should be your new year resolution.
I will try to.
Given your rich history, your rich experience in this regard.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. We want to say a big thank you to everyone who has also watched. We apologize we could not take calls. I think the network was really, really bad. Honorable, good to have you come today.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully that we'll see you very soon shortly.
By God's grace.
That's our show today. Thanks a lot for being a part of it. We're counting down to the new year, but we'll be back tomorrow with another very interesting one. I am Nifemi Okutoye. Bye for now.